All right. We got a short and sweet video today about computers and specifically RAM and not how to, because I'm not going to be going over anything, but just kind of explaining it. AMD EXPO, memory context restore, and power down mode in your BIOS. So, basically, I have been having issues. And not issues, I just didn't have it configured right. I'm running an MSI X670E Tomahawk Mobo, right? And I have, I don't even know what I have for RAM in there. I think it's G-Skill. It's G-Skill something, but 600 mega transfer per second, whatever. It's decent RAM, right? It's good RAM. It's a good kit of RAM, 32 gigs. When I set up my PC, and I've been seeing this a lot on the MSI Reddit or the subreddit or whatever it would be. People are getting like the DRAM light to come on, the CPU light to come on, all that stuff. It's taking forever to boot, and I was experiencing this problem too, and I guess it was getting irritating waiting for it to train memory, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, without further ado, get the screen cap going. So EXPO. So what is EXPO? If you don't know what EXPO is and you're not familiar with it, AMD EXPO, or extended profiles for overclocking, is a technology that allows users to easily overclock their DDR5 RAM to higher speeds on AMD Ryzen 7000, 9000 series processors. So if you have no idea what that means, basically you make RAM go fast. You press button, RAM go faster, right? That's cool. You want that. It's noticeable. It's noticeable enough, I guess, for me, right? Let's see. It's AMD's version of AMD, Intel, red and blue. It's their version of XMP for extreme memory profile overclocking. Basically, it's just a user-friendly way to unlock the full potential of supported RAM kits. So you're making your RAM go faster. Easy to understand, right? Now, for me in my PC, being newer hardware, because I just built it this past winter, when it's off and when it's on, it's a little noticeable. But today we're caring about boot speeds and why your computer might be slow to boot, why your DRAM light might be on. So this will just be like a quick just kind of explanation of why, and it's very easy to explain and fix. At least for me it was. I am a little more computerly inclined. Okay, so we're talking about memory context restore. We'll talk about that first, okay? So, big problem. You build your PC, right? You get all brand new, fresh parts. Everything's installed correctly, seated correctly. You hit the power button, you fire that bad boy up, and your DRAM light's on, right? At least on my board, I have a DRAM light. You might have a code it'll throw if you have one of those little boxes. It'll read you the codes, so on and so forth. Okay, and it takes forever, and you sit there, and this is what happened to me. This is my experience. I pressed the button. First, as a new PC builder, I forgot to plug the CPU pin connector in my board, so I was getting no power to the socket, and it wasn't booting. I was like, what the fuck? This is all brand new. It should work. It didn't. Once I figured that out, I got it to boot in, post into the BIOS, whatever it was, install Windows. It worked, etc., etc., etc. So we got a working PC, right? I do my thing. I set it off. I turn it off. I turn it on the next day. And this thing has taken forever to post, right? Like to even get into the login screen on Windows, it's taken, 1.5 to 2.5 minutes. And it shouldn't take that long. I'm like, what is it doing? And I just kind of left it, blah, 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 just whatever. Didn't think too much of it. I had my case open for something one day. So I'm like, well, I'll poke around with this again. I'll see if I can fix it and get it to boot and post faster. So I couldn't. I messed with it. So I did some digging on Reddit, and it brought me to the MCR, Memory Context Restore. So Memory Context Restore, it's a BIOS setting that, when enabled, allows the computer to retain information about the memory training process after a successful boot. So what does this do? Okay, if your PC's taking forever to boot, try this first. Like if it'll post and it'll boot, but takes forever, like in your initial first boot, try this first, because this worked like right away for me, right? So basically, if your PC's memory training, it's the way I understand it, it's training the memory to find a stable memory speed. So like I'm right now I'm running I think 6,000 mega transfer, and I can tell yeah, right here. Yep, so we're running at 6,000 MTS. Fast, that's what I want. That's what my RAM is rated for. But the computer, it's got to like train it. This is just how I understand it. It's got to train it and make sure it's stable, right? It's like it's not going to be, you're not going to have like an unstable Windows or whatever because of bad RAM, because something's not working at those speeds. And once it figures it out and it's like, oh yeah, whatever, it'll be fine, then it just kind of like saves it into whatever memory. So if you have memory context restore enabled, that basically just says, okay, this worked this time, so we're going to keep that and we're going to save it and use it. Cool, right? It's badass. That worked for me. That worked right away. Some users have reported that MCR can cause instability, especially with certain memory kits and configurations. If you have a good memory kit, you shouldn't really have to worry about this. If you have like some Temu stuff, maybe, yeah, I don't know. And it's very easy for your board, just, you use ChatGPT. That's what I did. It told me how to do it on my X670. Worked great. So power down mode now. We'll talk about that. So power down mode, it's a BIOS setting that allows RAM to enter a low power state when not actively in use, saving energy. So another issue, right? You got, you're running, AM5 and you have, you're using EXPO, and you put your Windows PC to sleep, and 20 minutes later you want to come start it back up and you get nothing, right? You got to, cold power down, whatever, unplug, switch to switch off, whatever, start it back up and go through the whole boot process again. So the power down enable allows you, you're letting your RAM, like, okay, we'll just stay low power. And it'll just sit there and not idle until you boot back up. So if you run into that, maybe try the power down enable. Because that's what I did. And it worked for me. So, yeah, I see a lot of this. I see a lot of people, like on the MSI Reddit thread with like, oh, their DRAM lights on and they like don't wait the whole memory training time. So like, can't stress this enough. Your DRAM light's on, let it train the memory, okay? Just let it do its thing. Once you post and boot, if everything looks fine, power back down, start it back up, mash delete. Once you're in your BIOS, turn the MCR on, and then give it another shot. And the first boot after you turn the MCR on is going to be slow because it has to retrain the memory again. But after that, you should be good. And if you're having problems with it not waking from sleep, with EXPO enabled and all that nonsense, turn the power down, enable that. And that'll be in BIOS under the memory, something with your RAM or memory overclocking or something like that. It'll look a little different for everybody else, but that is what I found to work the best. Now, if you're wondering what BIOS I'm on my board, I'm running an old BIOS, and the only reason being is because some of the new ones, for at least me, they're having issues with WD drives. And I have a WD drive, and it's either like not recognizing it at all, or it's just throwing errors. So I don't mess with that. I don't want to, screw myself in any way. But my BIOS build, E7E12 AMS.1D0 from 6/18 of last year. So it's almost a year old BIOS, but nonetheless, if I get one of those new X3D chips, I have to update it, and I will. But until then, I don't want to mess around too much with it, because I do have a WD Black. You can see it right there. WD Black installed. I'm nothing, too special. I just don't want to cause any problems with it. So that's why, if you're like, oh, well, you're just on old BIOS, well, it is what it is, and it works for me. But yeah, you have any of those issues, try the things I listed, and really, like, ChatGPT can just kind of walk you through it if you know the make and model of your board, which you should. But yeah, that worked for me. Other than that, That's all I got, kind of. So, yeah, as always, be safe, don't drink and drive, and that's about it. See you.